is one.
All right, let's switch topics for a moment. Let's talk about the neighbor of Syed Farook. And Syed Farook, as you remember, is the terrorist who killed 14 people in the San Bernardino attacks. His neighbor, Enrique Marquez, was arrested this morning on charges of supporting terrorism after purchasing the rifles used in these attacks. What are your thoughts on this arrest?
Well, this is a big deal for Mr. Marquez, and this is probably why he's with the FBI, and he's been, if he's smart, he'll sing like a canary, because what they could really charge him for is aiding and abetting a terrorist act. In other words, when you do a straw purchase of weapons, and that's basically what he did. He bought those weapons representing that he was going to be the owner of those weapons, and then without telling anybody or registering those weapons or having the terrorists register those weapons, which the female certainly couldn't do, they used those weapons to commit a very serious terrorist act, 14 homicides, lots of people injured. Those all become part and parcel of homicide charges that the prosecutors could file against Marquez. So not only the straw purchasing, the aiding and abetting, but actually being a principal in a terrorist act that led ultimately to the deaths of 14 people and lots of other people's injured. He could spend the rest of his life in prison without a doubt.
Now, like you said, it's very possible that he may sing like a canary. He may turn over all the information that he has to authorities in order to reduce his sentence. In your opinion, would that significantly reduce his time in prison? Will he be able to provide enough information and cut a deal significant enough with authorities that he won't spend a significant amount of time in jail?
Well, boy, I wish I could get inside the mind of the prosecutors, but I certainly can't do that. What I can tell you is they classically offer a reduction in time for cooperation, but make no mistake about it. He's an identified terrorist. He's been radicalized himself, came out of the same mosque that the other two terrorists did. They are going to want to know what was going on in that mosque, and they're going to want to know about any sleeper cells that he's discussed in the Los Angeles or Southern California area that could commit further acts of terrorism in the future.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up about the sleeper cells. Do you have any expectation that his interrogations or the information he provides will lead to any more arrests or any more terror cells in this area?
It just depends on what his psychological makeup is. If he's a person that's scared of spending the rest of the time in prison, he may very well give the FBI the information that they need to further their investigations, to identify further terrorists and try to thwart other acts of terrorism. If he's, sort of a down for the hood, so to speak, radicalized terrorist and believes in martyrdom, he may not give them that much information whatsoever, and including that, he might give them deceptive information.
Right. It's going to be a very tricky thing, I would think, for them to decide whether it's more dangerous for them not to get information for him and to maybe let him go free sooner, or whether it's more dangerous for him to spend the rest of his life in prison but not know the information. Dr. Martinelli, we are out of time, but I appreciate you coming on the program today.
Thank you so much, Liz. Good to be here.